Good morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark,
And I'm Zoe.
and we are the Board Adventurers, back to you with another late to the game. Today, we're coming at you with a game that was on our top 50 lists, if you've caught any of that. We are going to review today the 2 to 4 player game, Grand Austria Hotel, designed by Simone Luciani and Virginio Gili. I apologize if I mispronounced those names. And published by Lookout Games. So in Grand Austria Hotel, we're going to try to condense this as best as we can. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up your board. All right, you're going to see 1 to 6 here. That's going to be in the center of the table. Each player's going to take one of these hotel boards. You can all decide to play on the same side, which is the dark side. Everyone would have the same layout. For an alternate orientation of rooms, you can always flip to the day side. All right. You're going to deal out 6 staff cards to each player. In an advanced version, if you want to do it, you could draft that. You're going to take one of the 4 different types of resources in this game. So you have strudel, cake, wine, and coffee. You're going to take one of those into your kitchen. You're going to put in the bottom right corner here of your kitchen. Then you're going to take your player piece, put it on the 10 spot. So that's 10 krone. It's the money in this game. Then you're going to, what is it called? You'll set up the board. So you'll put out people in the cafe area. So there's another board in there. You'll add that to there. And I believe then you can start the game. So what is the point of this Grand Austria Hotel? So in this game, you're going to be given a whole bunch of die. So you're going to have a whole bunch of die. You're going to roll all the die based on the number of players in this game. Of those die faces that get rolled, you're now going to place them onto your board based on the number that shows up for them. So if you roll 5 5s, you're going to put them on the 5 slot. And so why is that important? It's because whenever you take an action in this game, you're going to take your action and you're going to multiply it by the number of die of that face in that column, and that'll be the strength of your action. So just to go over the actions very briefly, 1 and 2 is, so 1 is you get to take strudel and cake, depending on your strength. So, but you can never take more cake than strudel. What does that mean? So if I roll 3 1s, that means I could take either 3 strudel, 2 strudel, and 1 cake, or just the 3. You can take up to 3 strudel. You cannot take 2 cake and then 1 strudel. Same thing goes for the 2, which is the wine and then the coffee. So you can't take more coffee than wine. 3 is important because you get to open rooms. So on your player board, you start off with 3 rooms open, and you have to start in your bottom left corner here. All right, so you're building out these open rooms. So you'll have these little open room tokens. You're going to place them open on your board. That's the 3 action on this board. That's the 3 here. For number 4, you can take money, which is your krone, that based on your strength, or you can go up the emperor track. The Emperor track is important because there is a check at the end of round 3, 5, and 7. That'll determine more victory point conditions going forward. But just know that's number 4. Number 5 is you can hire staff. So you're going to have those 6 staff cards that you had at the beginning of the game, and they have different effects that give you something. Depending on the number that you have here, you can play 1 staff card. And you have to, you can decrease the price of hiring that staff by the number of die that's on here. Okay. Finally, there's the 6. 6 makes it so that you first spend 1 krone, and then you can do any one of the 5 actions based on the strength of that 6. All right. So that's on your turn order. To begin with, though, just so you know, there is another player board that has guests. You can invite, before you take a guest to one of your open tables here at the very bottom. So you're going to take a guest and you're going to place them on the bottom here. Okay. Once you've taken your action, you have the ability to finish a guest's order. So of those guests, you'll see on the top left of those, they have a different symbols which pertain to the different resources. You can apply any of those resources that you receive in that turn to your guest. And for an additional 1 krone, you can then apply up to 3 resources from your kitchen to any of the open guests in your cafe. All right. Why is that important? Because at some point, say for example, I have this guest here and this one here, and I have completed their requirement. I can now put them into an empty room in my hotel. Okay. So, but the important thing is that for these guests, they have different colors on their tablecloth. So you'll see there's the 3 different colors. So you have red, blue, and yellow, which are the rooms that are in your hotel. So again, you have your hotel with 3 different colors. Green can be in any one of the 3 colors, right? Just note that when you put them into a room, the room that has to be already open. When you've placed them, you're gonna flip them over into a closed position. If at any point you complete any section of rooms that are all connected, so say for example, I've completed these 3 yellow rooms here, I can get the yellow bonus at the very top of the hotel. In this case, if I completed 3, I get to go up 6 on the Emperor track. All right, so you're gonna keep playing. It's a snake draft, so you're gonna go, you might have like a 4-player game, so you'll be player 1, clockwise 2, 3, 4. Then whoever's 4 will then take the 5th action, and then counterclockwise go back to you to the 8. You'll keep playing, so then you'll play 7 rounds of this. At the end of the round 3, 5, and 7, you're going to have an Emperor action, or Emperor condition. The Emperor is going to check where you are on the Emperor track. You're going to score victory points based on that track. The Emperor is going to push you back based on the number of the round. So if you are on number 5 at the end of round 3, he'll push you back to 2, and then you'll check for the bonus that's there. If you end up at 0, meaning you failed his inspection, then you get a negative condition. If you get 1 or 2, then you get you kind of just barely graze it. You just pass. You get nothing. But if you're 3 or higher after that pushback, you get the bonus associated with that round. At the end of the round 7, you're going to check your victory conditions. So that'll be how many of your rooms you closed based on the level. You're going to score for, I believe, 1 for every money you have as well, I think. And you get -5 for every guest you still have in your cafe because they are very unhappy with your service. With that being said, that is Grand Austria Hotel. What do you think?
Yeah, if you haven't seen our top 50 games of all time, Grand Austria is on my list. It is one of my favorite dice placement or dice selection games that's out there. It really changed my views on dice placement because I'm not the biggest dice guy. And the thing about Grand Austria that I really enjoy is that every mechanism and how it functions within each other is well thought out, and it just works. It doesn't feel like it's trying to copy other mechanisms or how other games do things. It makes unique choices, and it just feels wholly unique from a mechanism standpoint. Mm-hmm. Like I love how the turn order works, in which it's not just clockwise. It's variable turn order, but it's an interesting way where you get a piece and it dictates which turn you choose items. And it just kind of goes clockwise around the board, so you never choose your actions in the same order every round. And everyone on the table gets that specific thing where it goes into, if you get one card that says you take the first turn, you also take the last turn that round.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like a huge advantage. It's very situational. And I kind of like that. I don't think a lot of games have that, and not a lot of games had that since this game came out. But it feels like it really made that decision for this game in particular, and that's how I feel about a lot of the mechanisms in this game. But before I just go on, what do you think of the game?
If you guys have watched our top 10s of either last year or even of all time, you'll know how much I really like this game. I just love the choices that you have in this game. how a lot of the time you can almost combine actions together in this game, and the beauty of it comes with like these guest cards, because on these tablecloths for their guests they give you effects.
Yeah.
So if you put them into a room, you immediately get the effect then on that guest. And so, like, say for example, this green one, right? It gives you 2 Emperor. I could choose to take the 4, right? The 4 would give me 2 on the Emperor if there was 2 4 die. But instead, I can choose to just get this person for the strudel and the cake, and then I would be able to close them, free an open table, and put them into a room, and then get more victory points that way. There's a lot of great choices that you have in Grand Austria, and a lot of times when guests come filtering out, it's like you want to get a guest before someone else does. But one of the also again beauties of this game is that on that guest track, in order for you to get a guest that's newly come to the hotel, you need to pay money. So how much are you willing to pay to have them sit at your table? And then it comes like, oh, I need money to pay to put them in there, money to pay to open a room for them.
Yeah.
Like I now need to get that 4 action. And then like staff cards just add like even more variability in this game, because they'll give you certain effects. They'll give you end game victory point conditions. They'll give you a continuous effect. Like I think there was one time we played, you were constantly getting a wine every round.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh man, you're feeding all like the wine drinkers so quickly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great choices in this game. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing too is the dice selection aspect of the game I really, really enjoy. And that depending on the amount of dice that's out there determines the strength of the action that you're taking. So it works so well with the turn order thing that I mentioned before, because if you have the 1 and the 8 as an example, you have the last turn that round, right? You see the specific dice and specific actions, and you have that first turn, and it's sometimes you making a decision of not just the resources that you need the most, but also the action that gives you the most effects.
Right.
And I do like that aspect of it as well. It really changes how you view your actions.
Yeah.
That it's not just about the collection of resources, but just kind of
I feel like that, like going into that like topic, is that this when the die gets rolled on that turn, it's like almost like an exciting like lottery roll. It's like what's going to show up. Because say for example you have a table and you need to feed your guests to clear them, because you only have a max 3 for your tables. In order for you to take a guest, you have to put them into a room.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are required for you to keep cycling out more efficiently like that. In order, so if you roll a whole bunch of 4s and you're not rolling a lot of 1s and 2s, it's kind of like you need to figure out ways of getting 1s, like getting a strudel, getting a cake, getting more wine. And there is an ability in this game where you can pass. So at the very end of the game, end of the round, you can take all the remaining die, remove 1, and then re-roll, hopefully getting a better roll. I mean, that's another mitigation way that they add it. I will say, though, that if you are just coming into this game, the iconography can be a little heavy to look at. You're going to be referencing a lot during this game, to the point where it might take up some time.
I was gonna say that's actually one of I have 2 cons for this game, and I love this game by the way, but it's 2 cons, and that's the one thing you mentioned, and it coincides with the staff cards. The staff cards are great because it just gives you effects throughout the game, but there's a ton of staff cards, and they're all wholly unique, and you're gonna be referencing the rule book to find out what each staff card does a lot. Even if you know the game. Yeah,
and there's only one reference, and it's one in the rule book. So that book's getting passed around at the beginning of the game a lot.
It's going to pause the game for people to read what they can do a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's a con too, outside of just that, is part of the thing I love, the turn order. And if you have, there's going to be times where your turns are so spread out, it's going to take a while for you to be able to do anything, and you're just going to be watching people play.
Yeah, that's a fair point, yeah. And I think a lot of times, too, is, if you're the first player, you're almost obligated to take the best action right away.
Yeah.
Just because you don't want anyone else to take that good in action.
Yeah.
So say if, fives came out, I'm more obligated now to pay for a staff card I have for free than have someone just take it and also pay for one of theirs for free.
Yeah. It's still need tinkering. I love the turn order stuff. There's some tinkering in it, or there's some cons to the turn order, like I said, but just the downtime and forced to do certain things so other people don't do it and just wait in a while. But those are the only two cons that I have for the game. But I think it's worth it because the staff cards are awesome.
I really think, there's a lot of different ways you can score in this game. And like, you may be blocked out of one thing, but you can always find other ways. Like, say, for example, opening up a room will give you victory points. Like closing that room will give you victory points. Putting a person that has a victory point condition in a room will also give you victory points. Getting on the track for the emperor gives you victory points. Staff cards have victory points.
It's very tactical.
There's never, you don't really feel too pigeonholed to do a whole thing, but you want to do everything. But you just can't do it in this game. But the fun is in trying to do everything.
Cool. In terms of buy, play, skip, where are you with this?
I love this game. This was my number one game from last year. This is more of a biased thought to me, but this is a buy. I think you need to, at the very least, find a copy of this game and try it for yourself, and see kind of like the magic of this game. I was very surprised that a game that I thought would be like what I thought would feel like work was like just felt so thematic and so crunchy in terms of gameplay. I would gladly pull this out at any get together. I would gladly set it up, teach it, play it. This game can last maybe like an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how many players and how comfortable they are with the game. This is an amazing game. That's my thought. How about you?
I'm a buy as well. I think this is one of the better midweight Euro games. Like, if you're interested in a Euro game, but one that's not so rule heavy, there's a lot of icons in this game, but rule set wise, it's fairly simple in terms of what you're doing. This is one of the better midweight Euro games, and dice placement, dice selection. It's just one of the best that I played, at least. So it's definitely a buy.
There is an expansion that adds like a ballroom or something. Like, it's like waltz or something. I think, or is that I don't know if that's actually the rolling right. We'll have to check. But if that expansion adds more to this game, I definitely would be. I want to get my hands on that too.
Okay, nice. Cool. Well, that is our late to the game review of Grand Austria Hotel. Let us know what you think down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Zoe.
I'm Mark.
See you on the next adventure.